actually threaten the press to not talk about that? Blake Lively has had a history of being with her co-stars. Maybe she was trying to hook up with Justin or use that, because it does seem to be something that she's done before.
Blake Lively is in full meltdown mode after being exposed for threatening the press to bury her endless scandals. Her picture-perfect Hollywood image was already crumbling after the cheating drama with Ryan, but now the internet is digging into her past, and nothing is staying hidden.
Hard when it's in the public eye and people have questions and they're seeing a fuzzy timeline.
Inches a desperate attempt to control the chaos, Blake is only making it worse. At this point, even her PR team looks like they're searching for the nearest escape hatch.
Because I don't trust you, Blake. I do not trust you. You have lied too much. You have fudged truths. You are trying to hide so much information that you are like your character in a simple favor, and I can't unsee it.
The spiral is impossible to ignore. Every attempt at damage control backfires, dragging even more attention to the scandals she wants buried. She's trying to control the narrative, but instead, she's fueling it. And now the press is exposing exactly what she fought to keep hidden.
It does sound like she's over-exaggerating.
Her lawsuit with Justin Baldoni has already collapsed into disaster, but what's more humiliating is that she's now resorting to threatening journalists to stop them from reporting the truths she doesn't want out.
You're complaining about privacy? Oh, this is such an important private matter. You were on Saturday Night Live letting your husband make a mockery of your whole thing. Oh, is there something that's going on? Yeah, there's something going on, and you shouldn't have been there.
For years, Blake built her career as Hollywood's golden girl. But that illusion is falling apart fast, because no amount of PR spin can cover what people are starting to see for themselves. The scandal around her marriage to Ryan Reynolds was only the first crack in the facade. Once the world realized the perfect couple image was a manufactured lie, they started digging even deeper.
On Green Lantern, but during that phase of Green Lantern, which was, I guess, back in 2009, was when they were shooting this, or 2010, filming was March to August 2010, Ryan was married to Scarlett Johansson.
And what they found shattered the fairy tale. When Blake and Ryan got together, he was still married to Scarlett Johansson, while Blake was in a long-term relationship with her Gossip Girl co-star Penn. The official story was that their romance began only after they were both single, but old reports tell a different tale. One journalist even claimed Blake and Ryan secretly met in a New Orleans hotel room while he was still married. That story was ready to be published, until their PR teams swooped in and killed it before it could do any damage.
He was with Scarlett Johansson, and Blake was in a long-term relationship with Gossip Girl, Penn, right, Kim?
Mm-hmm. Now that those old stories are resurfacing, Blake is panicking, because the deeper people dig, the worse her entire narrative looks. It's no longer just about a lawsuit, a cheating scandal, or a failing marriage. It's about years of manipulating the media to protect her image.
Well, there's two different narratives, but specifically what Ryan and Blake's narrative is, they both were not in relationships. When they did get together, it was after the filming of Green Lantern.
And that's exactly why she's threatening the press. She knows that if even one major outlet decides to publish the full truth, it won't stop with Justin Baldoni. It will unravel everything, the cover-ups, the PR spin, the lies, and the way she's used Hollywood's media machine to script her own reality.
Lively and Ryan Reynolds hooked up when Ryan Reynolds was still married to ScarJo and holed up in a NOLA hotel room during the Green Lantern. Us Weekly had discovered this, and their beauty editor would tell us this at events and about how Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's team's threats squashed the story.
Her biggest problem? This isn't the early 2000s anymore. The days when celebrities could silence journalists with threats and a few well-placed favors are long gone. Social media changed the game, and reporters aren't afraid of being blacklisted anymore, because now, the public will back them for exposing the truth.
Employees and agents that are all speaking with press outlets directly, trying to make sure there's good stories about their, their client, or blocking potential stories about their client.
The harder she fights to keep things buried, the more obvious it becomes she has something to hide. At this point, it's not even a question of if the truth comes out, it's simply a matter of who will be the first to blow it wide. open
the PR. And I think that's part of why this whole Justin Baldoni story is so fascinating. It's just because people are really getting a behind the scenes look at the reality of PR.
For someone who built her career on effortless charm, Blake now looks desperate. This isn't about one legal battle, it's about an entire image collapsing. People are finally seeing past the polished PR fairy tale, the marriage. To Ryan Reynolds, a perfect couple persona, the carefully timed media appearances. It was all a performance, and the rules of the game have changed.
Clearly happier and moved on with Colin Jost here. But just odd now that it's all come around with Ryan showing up to her new husband's place of work to crack jokes about his current wife's SH allegations. Hey, you just can't make this stuff up.
Ryan is out here cracking jokes on Saturday Night Live like his personal life isn't in flames, but the public isn't laughing. Instead of diffusing the scandal, his little comedy bit only made it worse. Now people are asking why he's so comfortable making light of a controversy that's supposed to be destroying his wife's reputation.
She did specifically reflect on her relationship with Reynolds. And I mean, props to her for keeping it classy and keeping things private. You know, like, I think she did an incredible job with that, maneuvering this. This was such a big deal.
Blake Lively spent years mastering the art of image control, but now, as the walls close in, she's crossing a line, threatening the press outright. Hollywood PR cover-ups are nothing new, but what makes this different is the aggression. She's not just steering the narrative anymore, she's trying to silence it completely. And in a city like New York, where journalists thrive on scandal, that's a fight she can't win.
Really go through it. Blake Lively has had a history of being with her co-stars.
It's true.
That's what's being alleged.
It's becoming clear that Blake has a pattern, a history that stretches back long before Ryan Reynolds. Penn Badgley, her gossip girl, co-star, was only the first in a string of high-profile actors she was linked to.
And obviously, as we know with Penn Badgley, Ryan Reynolds.
She started dating Penn in 2007, right as Gossip Girl was exploding in popularity. They were conveniently photographed together, just enough to feed the media obsession. But when they split in 2010, things turned suspicious. Penn later admitted the breakup was abrupt, and insiders from the set claimed Blake distanced herself immediately afterward, as if something behind the scenes had shifted overnight.
There was talk about Leonardo DiCaprio. Here's the sort of the dating history. Leonardo DiCaprio, the rumors were that Blake Lively was up for The Great Gatsby and then hooked up with Leo, but then didn't ultimately get the part and then didn't stay with Leo, is what the rumors are.
Then came Leonardo DiCaprio. Just months after splitting from Penn, Blake was suddenly photographed with Leo on a yacht in Cannes in May 2011. The timing was strange, especially with The Great Gatsby casting rumors swirling. Reports suggested Blake was in talks to play Daisy Buchanan, but after her short, highly publicized romance with Leo ended, the role went to Carey Mulligan instead. Was it coincidence? Or had Blake tried, and failed, to leverage the relationship for career gain?
Was she with Ryan Gosling? That's, I guess she wasn't in the movie with him.
Spotted on a few dates.
Allegedly. I mean, who wouldn't want to go on a few dates with him? Penn, but yeah, and then this, yes, they were in Sister of the Traveling.
Her next link was Ryan Gosling, and again, the timing raised eyebrows. In October 2010, while still working on Green Lantern, she was spotted on multiple outings with Gosling. Paparazzi even caught them at Disneyland, described as flirty and affectionate. Yet just weeks later, by December 2010, the rumors had shifted, suddenly. Blake was tied to Ryan Reynolds instead. Once again, a supposed romance fizzled out just as she set her sights on a bigger name.
There's multiple people here that she seemingly does. And I'm not throwing shade, it isn't my business. It sets a potential precedent that, yeah. And it's why a lot of us during the Sit Ends With Us story, like, maybe she was trying to hook up with Justin or use that, because it does seem to be something that she's done before.
Then came the relationship that changed everything, Ryan Reynolds. The way their PR teams rewrote history was almost impressive. The official version? Two friends reconnecting after filming Green Lantern, falling in love on a double date with other people, and marrying a year later. But insiders knew better. Journalists had already caught wind of their secret New Orleans hotel rendezvous, the very story that PR teams killed before Us Weekly could publish it. The erasure of that part of their history was no accident. They're drama-free. A marriage has always been carefully manufactured.
A Reddit thread from a Colleen Hoover fan group that was written 6 months ago is going viral today because in it, an insider who spoke to somebody who worked on the movie predicted a lot of the stuff that ended up happening.
Now, with the Justin Baldoni lawsuit exposing how Blake operates behind the scenes, people are starting to wonder if she tried the same tricks again. By the time the lawsuit hit headlines in early 2025, there was already a whisper. Network predicting something was deeply off about it ends with us.
The stuff that this person predicted came true because it was written so long ago. So what does that mean? Was this part of Justin's smear campaign where someone was trying to put some stuff out there? Or was this someone who actually worked on the film? Because some of this stuff seems to imply, yeah, they clearly knew what they were talking about.
But what no one expected was that the scandal had been foreshadowed months earlier. A Reddit post from August 2024, written by an anonymous user claiming inside knowledge from the set, outlined the entire controversy before it even exploded. The post detailed exactly how Blake Lively would use sexual harassment allegations as a power move to get what she wanted.
Blake wanted to do her version of the movie as a result, but Sony said no. Now, that's an interesting new one because I didn't know Justin didn't like his first editor, so they're both sort of competing. This is something I've heard in multiple other sources and people that neither of them are really good at editing this movie, it turns out.
And then everything unfolded exactly as the Reddit leak described. According to multiple sources, including leaked conversations from the set, Blake Lively had been frustrated with Justin Baldoni from day one. The two clashed constantly, Blake pushing for a different tone and direction than Justin, who as director had final authority. But this wasn't just about creative vision. It was about control. Blake wanted final say over the edit, something Sony flat out refused to give her. That's when things took a darker turn.
Supposedly, Blake felt that Justin made her uncomfortable on set. One instance in particular, they said, was that Justin told Blake she looked sexy and what she was wearing on set. I don't know the context around it, but yes, that proved true.
Blake allegedly began complaining about feeling uncomfortable around Justin, but it didn't stop there. At one point, Justin reportedly made an offhand comment about how she looked sexy in a particular outfit on set. At the time, it caused no major issues, no HR report, no formal complaint. But months later, that very moment was resurrected as the cornerstone of Blake's sexual harassment allegation.
Goes to Sony and threatens to go to New York Times with a story that says Justin was SHing her on set if they don't let her have her own version.
What made it even more suspicious was the way Blake deployed the accusation. Not in a legal filing. Not through HR. But as leverage in a business negotiation. According to the Reddit insider leak, Blake directly threatened Sony executives, saying she would take the story to the New York Times unless she was granted full creative control over the film.